I know how ridiculous this seems, but to each their own, and you only live once. YOLO. Hi, my book besties. Welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know who I am, hi, I'm Ambermarie, and this is Meet Me at the Bookstore. And we love cozy little books and to read and to lie vertical and waste our life with our faces in a book. Okay? We don't judge here. This is a no judgment zone. Now, in today's video, we have a massive book haul. And this is going to show my lack of self-control in a bookstore, and that includes the Kindle store as well, because I went crazy on the Kindle store and purchased everything when they were all on KU anyway. So, without further ado, let's go see what my wallet's loss in your game's gonna be. So first things first, I'm going to, in the description, tag all of the book besties that recommended these books to me. And these are just my comfort booktubers, book talkers that I have fallen in love with. They feel like my best friends. Do they know who I am? No. Do I wish they did? Abso-freaking-lutely. But that's besides the point. That's irrelevant. And that's all I have to say on that note. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys haven't already, because this is going to be an intense video. And if you guys like videos like this, then make sure you guys follow along for more, because I post all the damn time. Especially now that I actually have a camera that works. Okay, so when I say I went ham and I went crazy, this is one pile. This is the second pile. And then I have about 12 books on my Kindle that we're going to talk about as well. So this video isn't a million years long. Let's get into it, okay? So first things first, I picked up The Story of My Life by Lucy Score. Now, this was something that I seen that Bestie Yana had started reading, and at first she's like, oh, I'm gonna love it, and then she like posted her review and she hated it. And now this is gonna sound like I'm super influenced by these people. I'm not. I just know that if Yana hates something, I typically hate it. We just have a lot of the same vibes. We love the same things. So I'm gonna read it. I'm going in with a blank mind, going in blind. I'm going in with like no expectations. And if I don't like it, I don't like it. But Story of My Life by Lucy Score. I did get this at Walmart. This is the Walmart exclusive. I love the sprayed edges. Next, I literally had to drive 900 miles to California to get this, because the Target that I normally go to didn't have it and still doesn't have it, and they haven't had it for months. And so while I was in California, I ended up picking these up, and it was buy two get half off. So I'll show you the one that I got half off later. But that is Nightbane by Alex Astor. I am so excited to get back into this realm and this world. I loved Lightlark, and so I just know that Nightbane's going to be good. And of course, since I need to finish the series, even though I know the series isn't completed yet, I needed to get Skyshade as well. And I wish this was paperback. I was kind of holding out for the paperback, but I want to continue the series, so I picked it up anyway. And how could I not? I mean, it buy two get half one. Come on. So the half off book that I got in California was A Fate Inked in Blood. Blah, 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 blah. I can't speak English. Can you guys tell? Hello? I'm leaving that in there. This is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I can't read and I can't speak English. I don't know what's going on. And how many times has this popped up on my TBR for the month and what I'm going to read for that month, and I never get to it? I have no excuse now. I have the physical copy and I have it on my Kindle, so come on. No excuse. Next book, I have seen all of my comfort YouTubers. Again, they're in the description. I'll leave some pictures up here so you guys can see who they are. They all recommended this book. This is Phantasm by Kaylee Smith. I don't know why I can't speak English. And I read the back, and plus I've seen the reviews, and yes, this is definitely on my like need to be read now pile, and it's gonna be read soon. I got this at Target in California. Now this one is the only one that my husband bought for me, and he completely surprised me. I mentioned it that I wanted it, and when he asked me on my birthday, I said I really want this book, and he went out and he got it, plus a few other goodies. It was amazing. But he got me First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I have already read this. You guys are gonna see my full review on it actually pretty soon. I'm actually gonna film it next. But this book, y'all, 5 stars. It got me out of my Onyx Storm slump. Finally, 2 months later. 2 months later, and I'm finally out of that slump because of this book. This was so cute, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. You guys need to stay tuned for that review. But y'all, this is the Walmart exclusive. I wanted the Target exclusive because it had the pink, but I'm not complaining. It is super cute, and I love this book. Love this book. If you guys haven't picked it up, you guys need to, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Next, we have Caraval by Stephanie Garber. Now, I already had owned this book, and I ended up starting it and putting it down and softening upping it and deciding I was just going to give it to my mom because she loves YA books like this. She's not into like the dark romance or anything like that, and no spice, and so I figured she'd really enjoy this series, so I gave it to her. But then I decided I really want to read the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. What is going on? Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. And so I picked it up again. I'm going to read it. I'm going to do an immersive read and listen to it while I'm reading it and see if that helps because I got like 28% in and decided I was just done with it. So we're going to try again to the Caraval. Now this one I picked up with no recommendations. I have seen a few reviews on it, but I'm kind of going in blind. I did read the back though, and I fell in love. This is Rhapsodic by Laura Talasa. I'm probably saying that wrong, and I am so sorry, babe. But I am so excited. This has been on my TBR for a while, and when I seen it at Barnes & Noble, it was just an instant add to cart moment because I need to read this, and I'm hoping now that I'm out of my Onyx Storm slump, I can actually get into a fantasy world. Now next, I have already read this. If you guys have seen some of my very first videos, I talked about some of my favorite dark romances, and I mentioned this one, how I had read it, and at the time, it was a no for me. It was a hard no. But thinking back to it, this was the very first dark romance that I've ever read, and at that time, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. If I had started with the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey, which is one of my all-time favorite series, by the way, I would have absolutely devoured this shit because I would have known like what to expect in this world. And so I'm picking it up again. I have the second one coming. I am going to read it. This is Haunting Adeline by H.G. Carlton. I'm going to go in with a fresh mindset, and I'm going to give it a second chance. Now, if I don't like it this time, then I don't like it. But I'm going to go in now that I'm like in my dark romance era and I know what I'm getting myself into. So I'm really excited to give this a second chance. And I know that Larry loves the Cat and Mouse Duet series. So we're going to give it another shot. High hopes, high hopes. Now, this series, I picked up the entire series. And y'all, this is one that if she writes it, I'm going to read it and I'm going to love it. And I read these on KU literally a year ago. I still think about this series all the damn time. And so when I seen that Amazon had it on sale, I added it to cart and immediately purchased it. And when I told my husband that it was my birthday present, he goes, "How many books do you need?" And I go, "From her, all of them." So no judgment, but I got the entire Wishing Well Ranch series or Chestnut Spring series. I keep calling it Wishing Well Ranch, and now that it's Chestnut Spring by Elsie Silver. And that includes Reckless, which is Theo, Flawless, which is the first one, and I can't think of his name right now, but it's going to come to me. Heartless, which is Cade, and this is Daddy Cade, and obviously. Powerless, which is Jasper, and I love Jasper's story. And then Hopeless, which is Beau's story. Why can I not think of who writes this? Or who the first, Rhett. This is Rhett's story. I'm sorry. Flawless is Rhett's story. I knew it was going to come to me. I love this series. This entire series was 5 stars, and I'm not kidding you. I read this entire series, all 5 books, in like one day. I started it like an early Sunday morning after church, and I finished it by that afternoon. I could not put them down. And I mean, they're so cute, right? Okay, so that is all the physical books I had and where I got them and if they were recommended to me at all. So now we're going to go through my Kindle books, and these were a lot of these are what was recommended to me. And so I'm going to tell you who recommended them. Again, they'll all be tagged below, but let's get into the Kindle books because I went a little crazy. First things first, we're going to talk about another LC Silver series, and this is the Gold Rush Ranch series. This is Off to the Races. I only bought the first one. I should have just bought the whole series, and I don't know why I didn't, but I only bought the first one just so I could get a taste of this series. You know what? I'm going to go back and buy the other two as well, but this is Off to the Races. Now, this series, also by LC Silver, I just dove right in, and I bought the entire series, so I don't know what I was thinking with the other one. This is the Rose Hill series, and I got Wild Love, Wild Eyes, and of course, Wild Side. I dove right in, y'all. I couldn't help it. I seen that Wild Side had just come out, and it was like, okay, add to cart. So I immediately just purchased it. I haven't even started this series, but I know that it's going to be like top tier. So I'm actually going to read this series next as like a little palate cleanser from the book I'm currently reading, which you guys are going to get a full review on. Don't worry about it. But let's continue on because there's still a shit ton more. Okay, so Bestie Mariana, she recommended this book. She's been recommending this book to literally everyone. All she talks about is how this is a god tier book for her, and I keep putting it off. So finally, I just dove in. I purchased it. This is City of God and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. This is the House of Devil series. I don't know why I can't speak English today. Maybe I should just go in Spanish. If you guys didn't know, Spanish is my first language. So, yeah, okay. Y'all, I am so excited for this series. This has been on my TBR ever since I seen Mariana mention it, but then it was like, oh, I'm not really, no, I don't want to. Yeah, I'm gonna read it, no, I'm not. So it's like on my to-do list, like I'm going to read it probably in April, and I know it's like a spooky season kind of book, or I'm guessing it is, but we're doing it anyway, so City of Gods and Monsters, and y'all, I'm so excited. Now, this book was recommended by Laura and maybe Bailey and Emmy. I can't remember if I've seen them mention it or not. I'm pretty sure I've seen Emmy mention it. And if you guys don't know who Laura is, I just love her aesthetic and her vibe. And if I can meet her in real life, like I know we would just be besties because we literally have like the same aesthetic and the same vibe. And we love to read the same things. I'm not even kidding you. But that is Fairy Tale by Veronica Lancet. And I know that this is a thick one and this is a big boy. But I have heard amazing things. And when she talks about it, I just, it's like I have to read it right now. And honest to God, this wasn't even on my radar until I was watching a video of all of my favorite book talkers and booktubers in New York together, and she mentioned it, and it was like, okay, now I need to know what it's about. So I like immediately looked up the synopsis, and it was like, oh no, add to cart right now. So Fairy Tale by Veronica Lancet. Y'all, what is with my English today? I'm leaving it all in, by the way. You guys can see all my mess ups. Now, this book, every single one of the book talkers and booktubers have mentioned at least once. And my obsession with the series actually started when Larry read it, and it was like, okay, if she loves it, I know I'm gonna love it because what she loves, I love. This is the Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. This is the first book in the Gods and Monsters series, and y'all, I'm not kidding. This book jumped to the front of my TBR immediately, and I can't even explain how excited I am for this series and how excited I am to get into this world, because after hearing Larry's review of it, it was like, okay, She was in a slump and she still really enjoyed it. So I know I'm going to eat this shit up and leave no crumbs. Okay, I'm so excited for this book. Focus. Hello. Okay. This one is just because cowboy romance. Hello. Like, I'm in my cowboy romance era, obviously. This is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. This is the only one that's not on KU, so no matter what, I had to buy it. And again, I did purchase all of these, unless I say otherwise. But y'all, it's a cowboy romance. How could I not? Like, come on. Now, this book, I'm currently like 58% in. Whew. You guys, I'm going to talk about it. Don't worry about it. But this one was recommended not only by Yana and Larry and Mariana. Did you see how I tried to combine their names? I'm struggling today. But I picked it up and immediately after I read First Time Caller and got out of my slump, I immediately got into this book. Now, this is a dark academia, and I'm obsessed with it. Don't worry, I'm going to go into all the details. But this is Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. Y'all, this freaking book, I am devouring it, and I'm leaving absolutely no crumbs. This book is so good. It's top tier, 6-star read already. I'm not even done with it. I'm so invested in the story. And this is a standalone, y'all. So if you guys haven't picked it up, I highly recommend it. This is, like I said, Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. And I want to thank all of these book besties for putting this on my radar because, y'all, chef's kiss. And Daddy Deverick, whew, his mouth, y'all. His mouth. Now, book. This book I only picked up because I know that the second book in the series came out. And so I just figured I might as well read it now. And if I don't like it, I don't like it because I have heard mixed reviews on it. This is Heartless Hunter by Christian Cicerelli. If I said that wrong, babe, I'm so sorry. I apologize. Names, I can't speak English, okay? I'm sorry. But like I said, Heartless Hunter. This is the first book in the Crimson Moth series duet. I don't know if it's a series, if it's going to be a trilogy, if it's going to be a duet. I'm not 100% sure. I just know that the Rebel Witch, I'm pretty sure it's called, just came out. And so I want to read this and then go pick up Rebel Witch just to see if I like it. I'm kind of hoping I do, though. I'm going in open minded. Now, the next two books I actually didn't purchase, and that's just because I already know that they're going to destroy me, and it's going to be a one-time read thing. Like, I'm not going to purchase it. If they are good, I'll end up just getting a shelf trophy. Like, come on, I'm probably gonna do that anyway. But this is by Rebecca Yarros, and she's another author that if she writes it, I'm gonna read it. And I hate to admit, but I've never read any of her contemporary romance novels, and so I decided that I wanted to pick up a couple of them. So this is The Things We Left Unfinished. I've heard that this is gonna destroy me and it's gonna break me into a million pieces, but I'm actually like here for it and I'm super excited to get into this book. And then again, I did not purchase this. This is again just on KU. And again, it's by Rebecca Yarros. And this is The Last Letter. And I'm going into this completely blind. Again, I have heard that this is gonna destroy me. But looking at the cover, I don't know, it was just kind of giving me the Notebook vibes. And if you guys don't know, the Notebook was one of my all-time favorite books as a teenager. And I loved the movie. It broke my heart a million times over. And so I'm getting that kind of vibe from just the cover. So I'm hoping it's the same way and it's just going to break my heart and I'm going to love it. But I'm super excited to get into it. And if you guys have read it, let me know if you guys enjoyed any of her her contemporary romance books. What is with Breathe? Everything's okay. Let me know, but no spoilers, please. Now, this one I have seen Mariana mention a couple times. I'm pretty sure I've seen her mention it. This is Child of the Sun Queen by Nisha J. Tooley. And I have literally not heard anything about this book or this series. And I'm going to go in completely blind. I'm pretty sure I heard her mention it. at least in passing. But I'm super excited to go into the series. And now that I'm finally out of my Onyx Storm slump, guys, it took 2 months to get out of the slump, and I read everything. What got me out of the slump was not only my first time caller book, but A Little Life. And I'm going to go into that later. So just look forward to that. But I've heard amazing things, I'm pretty sure, about this book. I could be thinking of something else, but I'm pretty sure it was this book. If not, oh well, I'm going to read it anyway. Now, this book, I know for a fact that Mariana has recommended, and when she recommends a book, I'm going to devour it. This is by Krista Broadbent. She's another author that if she writes it, I'm going to eat it up, okay? I was introduced to Krista Broadbent by Serpents Doing Night, and I devoured that duology. Left no crumbs. And I'm actually looking really forward to reading the third book in her little series, which obviously, like, the duology is completed, and this is another character. But I've not read anything else from her, but I know I'm going to love this because it's Krista Broadbent, and I love her writing. This is Daughter No Worlds. This is the first book of the War of the Lost Hearts trilogy, and I have heard that this is as close as I'm going to get to Throne and Glass without actually being Throne and Glass. And I have said 1,000,001 times, I'm going to read this, I'm going to read this, I'm going to read this. And I never do. It has popped up in my monthly picks several times. Several times. But I haven't, excuse me, I haven't picked it up. I keep putting it off. No, never again. Never again. As soon as I heard her recommend this and what it's about, immediately added it to cart. I'm going to devour this. I already know I am. These last two books have both been highly recommended to me by Larry. And again, she doesn't even know who I am, but I've heard her reviews. I've heard her time and time again mention these two books. And I know she actually did a collab with Owl Crate, Fairy Loot maybe. I can't remember exactly who it was, and I could be completely off. But I have to get into this series, and I know I'm way late to the game, but it's time. It's time. And so I'm going to be reading Finding 13 in the Boys of Common series by Chloe Wash. Now, this again, I have said 1,000,001 times in my monthly reads. Oh, I picked it. I'm going to read it, and I never get to it. Never again. After hearing Larry speak so highly of this series, and all of my comfort book talkers, every last one of them have raved about this series. It's time, and I'm not putting it off, and I know I'm going to devour it. Like, how can I not, right? So this is definitely, like, on my I need to read it immediately list. And last, and certainly not least, this series, again, comes highly recommended by Larry, and I actually did see that Mariana continued the series and was loving it, and I think Yana loves it as well. This is The Mile High, The Windy City by Liz Tom Ford. I have heard, and I think that's what's kind of put it off, that Mile High sucks. Like, everyone hates it, and so I've, like, been putting it off because if the first book sucks, then usually the rest of the series sucks. But after hearing Larry rave, and I mean rave, about this series, it was like, you know what? I'm going in with an open mindset, no perspective whatsoever. I'm going in completely blind, and I'm going to love this series. I can feel it. And I've heard that the second book, The Right Move, is just, like, so good. Chef's kiss. So we're going in with an open mind, no influence whatsoever, and we are going to eat this shit up. And I can guarantee you I'm going to leave no crumbs. Okay? And this is literally, like, high on my TBR list. Like, I'm going to read it immediately. I don't care about my April picks. We are going to do the wheel and everything, but I actually have several books I'm going to be reading in April. I know. But that's all the books I picked up on Kindle. I know it was a lot. I know. I know. I have no freaking self-control. None. Okay, that was probably super embarrassing for not only you, but me. My wallet is certainly hurting and is mad at me, and my husband needs to take my credit card away immediately. But you know what? YOLO, okay? YOLO. No shame, okay? This was a total slay for me, and this is probably the most books that I've ever purchased at one time. And I have my book besties to thank for it because I was in such a slump and nothing was getting me out of it. And then I read the reviews and I watched their videos, and it was like, okay, we can do this. We can do this. So, y'all, that is everything I have for you. I know it was a lot. I know this video is a million hours long, and I'm so, so sorry. But if you guys enjoyed this type of content and want more hauls and want to see more of my beautiful face, that was conceited, then please make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, and leave a comment. What the hell was that? Leave a comment, like this video, and subscribe to my channel. Why can't I speak today? But I love you guys. Go read a book. Don't be depressed. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, my book besties. Read on.